today, we've got them going from far to near. Landon Wolf, Landon today, 5 points, 2 of 2 from the field, 7 rebounds. Tyreek Coleman today, 8 points, 4 rebounds, and assist. And Bones Gunberg, 20 points, season high, 6 3-pointers, 7 of them from the field, and 8 rebounds. We'll take questions for these three.
Bowden, in a game like this, when points aren't coming too easy for anybody, and you do have kind of the hot hand a little bit, or you're looking for your shots, maybe even a little bit more?
No, I think I have a lot of trust in all my teammates, and I think I had a lot of open shots because guys like Chase and Johnny are like heavy drivers like Lando. Like when they drive, they create a lot of attention, and I think I was just able to find my spots, and they found me and gave me good passes. So.
Was there just not much offensive flow on either side just because of how each team was playing defense?
Yeah, I think we're the 1 and 2 defenses in the conference. So I think defense is obviously stressed on both sides, and they're a really good defensive team. I think some of our shots weren't falling. I think we were generating good shots, but yeah, they're a really good defensive team.
Then Tyreek, I noticed that you went to high school against Schweiger.
Yeah.
What was it like going against your former teammate?
We actually missed each other by a year, but I worked out with him over the summer, and it was fun. You get an opportunity to finally know somebody, so yeah.
Tyreek, what's it like trying to run an offense in a real defensive game like that tonight?
I think you just gotta take it. You just gotta be patient. That was one game where we were stressing patience, not playing over fast. Make sure we're taking care of the ball and getting our pieces set. So right there, I think we just had to, that's what we stressed early. Stay patient and find the team's best shot, and that's what we went out and did.
Landon, you were a starter last year, and now you're kind of a spark off the bench. How have you adjusted this season in your new role?
I think that's just what my role is this year. I've been that kind of my whole career. I was at UNI, and I think I kind of excel at that role. I can come in and kind of be a spark offensive and defensively. So I think just relying on my teammates in that role, like our team is literally stacked. So like there's no point in stressing over a starting spot when our team is this good. So.
Landon, you were on the squad last year when Northern Iowa beat you guys at home at the last second. What does it mean to get the win over them at home this year?
Yeah, it's huge. We really should have won both of those. We were up pretty big in both of those games, and Coach talked about that during this week, and we obviously wanted to get that one, and it was obviously I want to win that one. So it is a relief to get that win off our back.
So was playing your former team a little different this year since it's your second year doing it?
It is. It's always a little weird. Some of those guys are some of my really good friends, so it's always going to be a little weird, but it's fun. We're all competitors, so it's fun.
Bowden, big game against Bradley, backing it up with 6 threes tonight. What's been working for you with the offense? What's the biggest thing for you guys right now?
Like Landon said earlier, I think we have depth. I think these last 2 games I've been able to find a little rhythm, and like I said, my teammates have been finding me. But like next 3 games I might be someone else. So I think it's just like Landon said, we're all doing our role, and whatever that calls for, like each night, and that's what I'm willing to do.
And then it's this kind of game you expect when you play Northern Iowa?
Yeah, absolutely. We knew this was probably going to be our most physical game of the year, and I think it was. And obviously the defense that they play is tough and physical, so we expect that. We expect it's going to be a close game, and we're fortunate to come out on top of this one.
And then whoever wants to take the question, your next 2 matchups are against the top 2 teams in the Missouri Valley. Does this challenge kind of excite you to see where your team is at?
Yeah, I think every game we look at the exact same. We're coming with the same intensity, but yeah, no, this is definitely some games that we have marked on our schedule at the beginning of the year, and we're really excited because I think it'll be 2 challenging games, and I think that's where we want to be challenged. February or January and February is where we want to be the most challenged going into March, so we're really excited.
Yeah, I would just say we gave up 3, that we expected to kind of win, and we're going to come back and come and steal some coming up. So.
Yep.
Tyreek, you guys had a couple turnovers late. What's it going to take in these next few matches to clean up the late game?
I think it's just going to be staying poised. Like, just understand the scenario in the game. Like right there, the one I had late, I could have just dribbled it out, just take as much time off the clock. So I think this one was helpful. It worked out that we ended up winning the game. So just go back, watch the film, learn from it, and when I get back in that situation, just make a better decision. But, it's just, again, a learning opportunity, and we'll grow from it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
a hard-fought 5-point win against Northern Iowa. Can we get your thoughts on the game? We'll take questions from the group.
Yeah, a pure rock fight there. That's what that was. And I didn't anticipate the game being played any other way. Give them credit. They don't give in. We got up 13 in the second half. I think there's a lot that we can learn from in those moments. That'll probably be my focus in watching the tape with our team is how do you take a lead from 13 and, continue to chip away possession by possession. I think we can learn in those moments, but never thought they would go away. I have great respect for their program. Certainly, Illinois State has had a tough time beating them over the course of time here, over the last probably 10 or 15 games. And I'm glad to get out of here with a win because I thought this was just a 40-minute war. And, really happy to pull away. I thought we stayed the course a lot better than we did 10 days ago against UIC. It was a very similar game in terms of had its frustrating moments, had its challenges. The offensive numbers didn't look great, but we stayed together much more. We stayed engaged much more, and we were able to get over some of our in-game frustrations. And to me, that was our biggest growth. So really excited, and league wins are hard to come by, as we all know.
Ryan, I believe there were 10 total assists in the game. Was that just a function of how each defense was playing, that offenses weren't smooth?
Yeah, they are, they're a top 25 defensive team in the country. On paper, analytically, we're the number 1 defense in our league, and they're 2 on the season. I think they're higher. So 2 really good defensive teams on paper. So I think that is part of it. I also think there was a lot of shot missing going on out there too. There were looks on both sides that I think we would both say, like, man, hit a shot, In my head, that's kind of what I was saying, but didn't say that to our players out loud. But, I thought we had some good looks. I thought they had some good looks. The assists probably are a reflection of just a lot of tough, physical, defensive plays. And, that's I'm just looking now at some of our stats, 6 assists, 17 turnovers. Obviously, we got to take care of the ball better. That stat line isn't going to win you a whole lot of games. So, we got to clean that up.
In a game like this, somebody's got to put the ball in the basket. And for you, again tonight, it was Bowden.
Yeah, I think Bowden's, he's emerging at the right times, right, in the midst of the game. I think he's taking the right shots. I think that he's allowing the game to come to him, his impact is on both sides of the ball. He's a very impactful defender as well, and he's very valuable to our team and to our success. So, I was pleased with him, and I think, he's shot the ball really well here in the last couple of games, no question.
1.5, 24-16, like you said, a rock fight.
Yeah.
What was your biggest message to the team at half to come out, kind of pull away with this win?
Yeah, I thought I've been saying this for a few days now. In the midst of a frustrating game, I'd love to tell you, this is some of what I said to our team this afternoon after our shoot-around. I'd love to tell you we're going to score 80 tonight, but in the event that doesn't happen, okay, what are we thinking? Where's our mind? Shots aren't falling, fouls aren't going your way. What is our mindset? That's most important to me right now, because that would indicate our growth. Because I know how we responded a couple weeks ago, and that was my challenge at halftime. I said that our mind should be on win the game by any means necessary, blow for blow. And it was 2 teams that were competing at a high level. Like the level of competition, I realized that if you're watching the game aesthetically, that may have not been the most pleasing game to watch. But if you were there and you're really studying, those are 2 teams that were competing at a really high level. So part of why the game was ugly was because of the level of competition on every screen, on every cut, on every shot. I thought it was a very highly competitive game. And, Yeah, my message was that, and I just I challenged them. You know, we didn't come here to win 20 minutes, but it was going to be a war all the way to the end.
You haven't been a great free throw shooting team this year, but I would think you'd be encouraged by how you shot them in the final minute.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I was asked on the radio show about Mason Kleba. Why did you put him in at the end? And you know, Mason has the it factor, and I have every belief in him. And it sort of played out that he got fouled and made those shots. I just felt like we needed some bigger bodies in there defending some of their perimeters, their positional length at the 2, 3, 4. They're plus at all those positions. They're a tall team. That's part of the reason that, you know, defensively they're so good, and they're one of the top teams in the nation at defending the 3, like top 5 in the nation at defending the 3, is because of their length, their effort, their attention to detail, their shot contests. So, yeah, I was very pleased for sure. I mean, you're going to be in a lot of these games where you come down to the last few possessions, and you're going to have to be able to execute and make free throws. We can execute better, but we made free throws tonight like we needed to down the stretch.
There's a lot of rock fights, especially in the new year with conference foes. Do you think that's what the ISU faithful should expect to see from here on out, or is the game against Bradley a more promising sign of things to come?
Well, I think I would love to have 20-point wins every night, but the reality of it is when you get in league play, don't care who you are, there's going to be a lot of wars, a lot of really close games. It's a very well-coached league, highly competitive league. The variance is not all that great. I think you're seeing that across the board. The parity is there. So survival of the fittest, you know. I would love to, think that it would be all sunshine and rainbows, but it's not going to be for anybody. And so you got to be able and willing to go the distance.
How important was this win in particular, given last year's result against Northern Iowa?
It was important regardless. It was important regardless. We had 2 games against them last year that they beat us on at the end, and there's not much we can say about that. But those are hard pills to swallow, and certainly you think about that a lot in the off season. You study that a lot in the off season, and I have natural respect for their program and their coach. They've been one of the standards of excellence in this conference for the last 20 years, and their level of consistency speaks to, the type of program they have. So, got great respect for them, and like I said, beating them anytime, anywhere, we'll take it. Yeah.
And then it doesn't get any easier from here going against Belmont and Murray State next week. It's kind of your mentality going into those games.
Yeah, I mean, I think all of these games, I don't know that I look at it like maybe people on the outside do, because I think every game is going to be totally different, right? Like there's a different formula when you play Valparaiso than there is against Belmont. Totally different style of game, and your ability to adjust. I think they're all really good teams. Obviously, Belmont and Murray State are 2 that are at the top of the league. We got some ground to make up, so it's a challenge we're looking forward to. I know that. I know that about our team. We've talked about that, and this is a 20-game gauntlet, and there will be moments for every team that you'd like to forget, but how you respond to those moments, that'll tell the story about your season at the end. And I like our resolve. And this last couple of weeks has, forced that on us. We forced that on us, and I like the way we've responded, and just got to keep getting better.
What does it mean to win a close game like this, yet still make some mistakes down the stretch and be able to look over on film later on?
Yeah. Well, I mean, for the coaches, I mean, I do feel like maybe I aged about 22 to 24 4 years in that game. These are, they're unforgiving. You'd like them to be smooth, and rarely are they. I think it builds, it builds character, it builds resolve. I think, winning close games is I think sometimes some of the most valuable types of games that you can have, because you're learning a lot about your team in those moments. And yeah, does that answer your question? Yeah.